And hello again, folks. It is I, Kamikaze, here to bring you more of the Danganronpa. We're going to continue our glorious investigation. And on with the adventure. Psych taxi. Oh. I don't remember how to do this at all. Ow! I don't know how to drive. I mean, if this is really how someone's brain works, mine is definitely not working right. It would have to be the katana's hilt. Whack! Oh, I'm actually supposed to keep driving. Okay. I feel like I'm playing Cruisin' USA all over again. Can I choose a school bus? I can't frickin' read while doing this. Whoa, what the hell kind of turn was that? Meow, meow. I'm firing my lasers. What was done to make sure the katana turned to the lock? Fuck if I know. I'm not exactly sure if I understand this. I still don't understand completely. And now I've got me and two girls in the car. Now what? Gian! Yo, get them all. Arrgh! There we are. How was the effigy manipulated to make the katana affect the lock? I'm not... Usually I have some idea, but I'm not understanding how this worked at all. Well... I mean, my brain kind of went, yeah, this is how that would work, but I don't think how it would work. I don't understand that. How would someone be able to spin it so perfectly that it would lock? Yeah, only in a 12-year-old's mind, which I guess, smarter than me.
That's it. The reason the culprit stuck the katana into the effigy was so that it would hit the sliding lock as the effigy spun.
Effigy spun?
I mean, that seems like a really far stretch for this. Does anyone else think so?
That's right. If you spun the effigy, the rope it was hanging from would twist.
And then as it slowly moved down, it would smack the lock. There's still no guarantee that it would, though.
Then, if you let it go, the rope would unwind and the effigy would spin the other way. And of course, the katana would spin with it.
There's no guarantee that the katana would hold in place well enough, let alone that... Oh, hello again, Mo. Can you get down? Thank you. Something that I was saying earlier. I don't remember what I was saying. But yeah, think about it.
I see.
It would have to have enough
Culprit
force to
used the
slide it.
katana's counterspin to push the lock into place? The culprit simply needed to spin the effigy's rope and then swiftly leave. This would cause the spinning katana to hit the sliding lock. And thus was the back door of an empty classroom locked from the inside.
Yes, that's how Angie's lab was locked.
But it would still beg for the fact of getting into the room to begin with. It's not like people have Kokichi's lock-picking skills. I mean, Boobs McGee probably could have rigged something up. But I don't think she's smart enough to manually make something do that. She would have created some kind of a robot for it.
By using the effigy with the katana.
A plan born from the heart of a sword traveling through the air to intercept us.
Oh my god, she's drooling.
Oh, but could it have moved the slide lock so easily?
That was my question.
The sliding lock was pretty loose. A little push could move it. As long as the spinning katana hit the lock, it would have slid into position.
Even if the culprit failed the first couple times, they could keep trying until it locked.
It still seems done and over... I mean, as I said, with that kind of lock, you could have easily just put a string around there, pulled it, and then pulled the string through. I mean, if it's loose, obviously it would be able to fit a string, and it would be a hell of a lot easier than this whole spinny thing, and it'd be a lot more confusing.
Which is why the culprit chose to strike at nighttime, as to avoid detection.
Yes, since the student council prohibited anyone from walking around at nighttime.
Are you saying it's the student council's fault?
No, this would probably happen whether or not, unless someone's pissed off at the student council.
I didn't say that.
In any case, the culprit probably used the murder weapon for this trick. It had to have been the right length to hit the sliding lock from the effigy.
The culprit couldn't find a blade long enough in my lab, so they settled for the katana.
Why, they were going to put it on you anyway?
The other effigies were only hung up so we'd think it was some kind of ceremony. That way, we wouldn't notice the lock trick.
But Kokichi did say earlier that he could have picked the lock closed. I don't want to completely ignore that possibility. But I can't imagine the culprit would have done all this just for a distraction.
Why not? Just to fool you.
If that's the case, then Kokichi's confession earlier was actually...
Seriously? You fucking lied again?
Cough it up, Kokichi!
Oh, man. You guys got me. Okay, I'm not the culprit.
Now you are the culprit.
You're telling the truth this time, right?
I want to say I'm lying, but I'm not.
Why did you say you were the culprit?
I wanted to lure the culprit out.
How would that lure the culprit out?
If I claim to be the culprit, then the real culprit would agree as well. You get me? And if they pressured me to confess, then that would have looked mighty suspicious. Sheesh. Darn it. It didn't go my way because Shuichi butted in on my plan.
That's a load of shit.
You and your fucking lies! Go sit in the corner and play with yourself!
Okay, I'll start right now.
Moving on.
All right. So, who's the asshole who set up this locked room mystery?
Mew, I can't hold it up anymore.
What's the matter? You going soft on me now?
Who made the locked room mystery doesn't matter, since anyone could have done it. Don't you even understand something as basic as that, you filthy cum dumpster?
Wow.
Cum dumpster! Finally! Someone finally called me a cum dumpster!
Oh. Wow. Is she really getting off on this?
What should we talk about now?
He even
We
wants to
must
change the
focus
subject.
not on the locked room, but on who entered Angie's lab. Only one of the student council members or Kokichi could have gained entry. Therefore, the culprit must be among their number.
I don't think so. Can't be that
That
simple,
leaves
can it?
us with 4 suspects. Sumugi, Gonta, Kibo, and Kokichi.
You have an ultimate assassin. You don't think she could have gotten in there? Huh?
Don't forget Himiko.
Because she even mentioned about not having a long enough blade. I don't think they planned the blade to be that long just so they could lock it. That would require a hell of a lot more thought than most of these idiots have in their entire asshole.
Doesn't matter if she was besties with Angie, she's still a suspect.
That contradicts what you said earlier, which I can prove using my recording function.
It's fine. That's just a waste of time.
Me? A suspect? I never kill Angie!
So, calling all suspects, what should we discuss next? I want to hear everyone's opinion. What would you say to get yourself off the suspect list?
Why are you trying to lead the debate? You're a suspect too.
Silence, outsider. Only the suspect rangers are allowed to speak.
Oh, please, please, some random act of the digital god, strike him with a meteorite.
Suspect rangers?
I agree. Those under suspicion should explain themselves thoroughly.
We might catch them with their pants down!
Oh, you'd like that. Cum dumpster.
Anyway, I want to ask the suspect rangers. What should we talk about? What should we say to get ourselves off the suspect list? Well, guys, I want to hear what you think.
That's sort of a difficult question, you know?
Gonta not smart enough to know answer to that.
Yes, it is difficult to formulate a logical response to that question.
Not articulate with words, huh? Don't you guys want to prove your innocence?
They don't trust you one bit, and I don't blame them. You're probably plotting.
Why did Tenko have to die?
Huh?
I want to know what happened to Angie too, but... Can we talk about Tenko's case now and not just Angie?
I got you exactly where I wanted, Himiko.
What do you mean?
The 2 victims could have been killed by 2 separate murderers, you know. So we need to find the first Blackened responsible for the first victim.
Well, my question is like, she brings up the whole Tenko killing thing. The only thing I can think of is they didn't want the seance to complete in case it said who killed them.
We gotta figure out who killed Angie.
And someone who had to have read the thing in order to know how the seance was going to be set up. But then again, that circle again makes me wonder, like, how do you know which direction that circle part was going to face? Then again, in the middle of the room. No, I don't understand.
Until we solve
Unless it's
Angie's
perfectly
case,
in the middle of the room.
Tenko's case is meaningless.
I guess the center of the room is the center of the room, since it is 5 feet wide, and the board it didn't seem to take up the entire 5 feet, so... I think that would make sense that it could have been any room in the center if they just looked at the book.
Did you suggest that to waste our
It's
time?
not meaningless!
We need to find out who's superstitious. Himiko.
Tenko's death was meaningless? How dare you! Poor Tenko! How could you do this to her? Himiko...
Himiko, stop it with your crappy lies.
Lies?
Everything you said is total BS. You didn't give two shits about Tenko when she was alive.
Yeah, she kind of always pushed her away.
Oh no, poor Tenko, after she's dead. Come on, really?
Kokichi, enough!
No. It's okay. It's no surprise he'd think that. I know I ignored Tenko before. That's why I'm so upset now. I should have faced Tenko, worked things out with her while she was still alive. But now, it's too late. I can't complain to her or thank her. It's too late.
Yeah, seriously. It's way too late to realize that now. Our only option is to face her death head on.
I mean, he's like overly optimistic. Always.
Yeah. Face her death?
Himiko,
Whoops.
so I'm gonna help you out. Let's work together to find the truth. I'm not gonna let anyone say her death didn't matter.
Kaito. Alright. I'll put a silencing curse on whoever calls Tenko's death meaningless.
Go for it. I'd like to see
The
this.
name of the curse is Death Curse.
Original.
Suppose being dead would silence someone pretty good.
Listen up. All you guys are gonna help out too. Abandoning someone who died and only thinking about your own survival.
Why couldn't they make like games like this into animated series? Or actually, I mean live action series and just follow this exact same kind of reactions and stuff? I mean, it wouldn't be that difficult to find people to do it. Hairstyles might take a little work.
That's just as bad as a hit and run. I won't forgive something so messed up.
Tenko was our friend. Gonta want to know why she died too.
I already told you that's so unnecessary. We're getting sidetracked here.
No, even if it was a different culprit, we need to know how Tenko died. If we don't find out who killed her, we won't be able to work together. Not now, not ever. Even if this trial isn't for her, in order for us to survive, we need to get to the bottom of Tenko's death. Not just to survive this trial, but so we can keep going and live on!
And tie up who the other murderer is until the next blackened thing can happen. Kaito.
Finally, you noticed. Jeez, you're so slow.
You know what? None of this explains the aspect of him busting his head open.
Huh? Did Kokichi want us to notice?
Don't listen to his crap. We haven't decided whether there were two different culprits yet.
Let us talk about Tenko's case then. Perhaps that will provide us a clue.
Yeah, maybe.
They're not wrong, but I don't mind going over Tenko's case. But that was an abrupt change of topic. Was that intentional?
So, what do we talk about first?
For now, let's see if we can narrow down the list of suspects.
Tancrotch probably got killed during the seance, so everyone there's suspicious.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think any of these people could lift up a 175-pound dog, lift up a sheet, stab her with something long enough, put the sheet back on, and put a 175-pound dog back on it, while chanting the mumbo-jumbo song and not disrupting the salt pile.
Tancrotch!
Oh, and yeah, it called her Tencrotch. The people who attended the seance.
That's it.
The first option, I'm like, I think that's right.
It was me, Kyo, Himiko, and Kokichi.
So those 4 are the culprits!
No, I don't think any of them could be the culprit. Other than, Himiko's corner where she could go underneath the floorboards, go under, move it, stab her in the neck with a complete accuracy in pitch black darkness, and then make it all the way back up. While singing and chanting.
Oh, Himiko still culprit?
Well, that's probably just a coinkydink. The most suspicious out of the 4 is really
Suichi!
Kyo.
Oh.
He suggested the whole seance idea.
True, I may have suggested it, but I explained the procedure beforehand, yes? If we all knew of it before the murder, then we are all equally suspicious.
Well, I suppose.
But he's also the person that said after the fact that it had to be done in reverse order. Which I don't know how that works, really. I don't remember reading that either.
In addition, the seance wasn't entirely in my control either. I was not the one who selected the room we performed it in. It was Himiko.
Ooh. So,
Oh,
wait, no, but then if that beam was cut on the other one where dumbass busted his head open, then looks like they prepared the other rooms as well.
Also, we should not limit our suspects to only those who participated in the seance. The empty room had a point of entry from outside, you see.
And point of entry outside, he must be referring to... I've got under the floor to enter. Alright, seance. Oh, okay, so...
I was wrong.
No! That wasn't wrong. It's the same damn thing.
There.
I was figuring it was going to count as the same thing, but I guess I shouldn't have.
You're talking about under the floor, right?
Yeah, the same thing as I was saying earlier.
Huh? Under the floor?
Yes, there's a crawl space under the floor a person could move through. There was also a hole that connected it to the neighboring room.
If the culprit used the hole, they could have entered and exited the seance room.
Wait. So there was that crunching, crash sound. Could it have been that moldy grate that was saying before, instead of someone busting in, they busted out, which means they were already under the floorboards before the seance started. And since that was an opaque sheet, someone could have had light in order to move and then stab her and then go and, well, throw the thing down and bust out with that crunch sound.
If we consider that possibility, then there is another suspect.
Dun dun dun.
Another suspect? Who?
It's appearing before me. Oh, I can see it clearly. The true identity of Tenko's killer. The culprit sneaked in during the seance.
No.
By crawling under the floor.
Oh.
But it was pitch black during the seance. How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor.
Wait, what?
You see, our villain had a light.
light? You mean candle?
I mean Kibo's flashlight function.
Huh? Now, hold on a second.
I think it was fucking blinding.
Could have used that function to get under the floor.
Yeah, but wouldn't it shine through the floor?
The culprit sneaked in during the seance.
Crawling under the floor.
Let's listen to all of it first.
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain had a light. Light? You mean candle? I mean Kibo's flashlight function. Huh? Now hold on a second.
Kibo could have used that function to get under the floor and sneak into the empty room during the seance.
I said hold on a second.
He used his robot functions to commit the murders.
Beep beep boop.
Hold on a second.
Wow. It's true that with a little light you could move around under the floor. But is that possible?
The culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor.
Oh yeah, well the hole in the corner.
But it was pitch black during the seance. How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, Leland had a light.
Lies and slander.
I don't think the culprit could have used a light while under the floor. There was a hole in the corner of the room. If a light were used, it would have leaked through and we would have seen it.
But when we did the seance, the room was definitely pitch black.
So a light was not shined under the floor, which means you cannot claim I am the culprit.
Jeez, here I thought this would be the case where the murder could only be done by a robot.
Well, technically, if it used like ultraviolet lights and its robot can see it like a camera, then he could easily have done that in the dark. The light would just be for our benefit. No idea.
You have accused me of being the culprit more than once now, simply because I am a robot. My status as a robot does not mean I am capable of performing superhuman feats. My vision is somewhat poor, and I only possess average physical strength and intelligence.
All right, you made your point. God, now I feel sort of bad for you.
No, you don't.
I neither want nor need your pity.
Ah, my eyes!
Enough with the flashlight! It's way too bright!
It would have been difficult to move around under the floor in that pitch black darkness. Maybe the floor and the hole have nothing to do with this case.
No, I believe they do.
Then why was floorboard under Tenko lined up funny? Going to think that was so culprit could stab Tenko from under floor.
I still don't understand how that would work.
Ooh, nice observation, Gonta. Are you finally getting used to the class trials?
Uh-huh. Thank you.
You're welcome. But now I'm going to call the end of this, lovely little recording, and I'll see you in the next one. I know you love me. And if this helped you at all, or you enjoyed it, or any of the other reasons that you have caused with you, please remember to hit those buttons and help me out. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.